So I called, messaged my deployment husband, told him I wasn't going to be back until Toledo that night. And
your deployment husband?
Well, yeah, one of the ODA guys. Who knows? Some dude I gave my number to in the DFAC. He's wearing white sunglasses and a 511 plaid shirt.
It seems to be the look you speak of, right? These guys, they look at you just right. To me, it makes me think of that picture that's now in memes all over the place of Sandra Bullock in that movie with the blindfold on. Like, maybe you need to walk around like that. I don't know.
No, I do. Yeah. I do. But
anyway,
they send a Black Hawk to bring an engine, and they actually replace the engine there at Basra out on the ramp. And I'm showing the Navy dudes around my helicopter because I'm looking for another deployment husband if I'm going to be stuck here for a couple more days. And we're walking around, and all of a sudden we start taking incoming. Well, my buddy Ryan is up in the air doing the actual engine checks with his co-pilot. So I'm just waiting for him to get done, give us the all clear that his engine is good, and we'll take off. We'll go back to Toledo. And we start taking incoming. And I don't know the name of it's like the Vulcan, like the strafing gun that they use for perimeter defense that to shoot down incoming. That bitch is loud. Yeah. And I was like, I fly through that ROS all the time, or, the area we're not supposed to fly through. Yeah. I'm going to stop that. So we're actively taking incoming. And I don't know this at the time because I'm not up on power. My buddy Ryan follows the smoke trail and sees those rockets. Saw them leave, and he sees the rails that still have 2 or 3 rockets left on them. And for you guys that don't know, when they shoot rockets at us, they just got some angle iron propped up on a sawhorse. I mean, it's not with a washing machine timer it's attached to him. Well, not only does he see that, he sees the 2 Iraqi policemen who were there firing the rockets at the base. So I spool up. Basra Tower is an actual Iraqi airport in Basra. And so the Iraqi controller is like, the airfield is closed, we are under attack. And I was like, bitch, I know, that's why I'm taking off. I go join him, and sorry, I'm getting tissue. I go join him, and we, get a hold of whoever's answering the radio there, and they don't give us clearance to fire. I mean, describe clearly what we're looking at, and they won't give us clearance to fire. And it's like, what do you mean? You won't give us clearance to fire?
Who was it that was making that call?
So it was a major. I found out at the time whoever the owning unit was of Basra. It was the major in the operations center, the tactical operations center, and he tells us that this is where my lack of tact. He tells us that he is going to send a ground team out to negotiate for the return of the remaining rockets.
Great.
So, and I was like, motherfucker, you aren't going outside the wire to go have that conversation. That means you're going to put some E6 and his team in an MRAP and go out there to negotiate for, these
guys just tried to kill us.
These guys just tried to kill us. And that was really that just totally culminated, how that experience was. And it was a rough first gig, you have all these ideas. And I know Shauna talked about it too, I had all these expectations about what life as an Apache pilot was going to be like, and all this I was getting tons of dick, but that's neither here nor there. So that glamorous part of it was true. But but just the mission set, and it wouldn't be so I don't give a but like I said again, you still got these patrols going on, and that was the part that I really loved, because you were actively talking to, this was in JTAC land. Yeah. When you checked in with whatever convoy you were reporting to, you're talking to nuggets. You're talking to kids who are some platoon leader is probably scared to death. These are loggies, logisticians for the truck drivers, the people just trying to get shit from point A to point B. And I'm like, and having been in that position, in Iraq in 2006 when I was a ground chick, I was like, I had a soft spot in my heart for sure for the convoy and for the regular Joe, and the one time. we responded to an MRAP that had been struck by an IED. It was in Nasiriyah, and it was just in a really shitty, awful spot in the road that the convoys went through all the time. It had a hard 90-degree, like 2 hard 90-degree turns with palm trees on either side, just ambush alley.
I think I know where that's at.
Awful.
Yeah.
On the way to Delta, and it was just almost near shocker, but it was just awful. And so it was but that was where becoming a professional aviator became important, because I needed to not be on a fuel turn when the convoy hit that spot.
Yeah.
I needed to time my mission set to make sure that I was full of gas, to be there to. So I wasn't at this one time, and there was an NRAP, and the front end was completely blown up, injuries, and the platoon leader I check in with, I'm front seat lead. So the lead aircraft, whoever's in the front seat, is the one who's talking to the ground guys. So everybody wants to be front seat lead, because you get to talk to the ground guy.
Yeah.
And the truck is blown up, and they tell me that they have to wait for wrecker support. KBR contracted wrecker support to come all the way from Delta. I was like, are you with me? Like,
that's going to take forever.
That's going to take forever. It's going to take forever. And of course, I didn't know that it was different, that I just had a really great platoon sergeant when I was, a record driver. It was like, you will go on every mission.
Yeah.
Like, they don't go without record support.
Yeah.
I didn't know that was not a thing. And by the time the wrecker got there, they didn't know how to hook up to it. And they finally get hooked up, and we're moving out of this kill box, and they're going slow as shit. And I'm like, what the is the problem? We need to go. And I was like, I told the platoon leader, I was like, listen, I bet you $1 million he did not drop the drive shaft off the transfer case. So go pull the drive shaft. And he comes back on. He was like, that was it. And now suddenly we're boogieing at a mighty 30 miles an hour. And I think I said at one point, I was like, don't make me land and do it myself. And they were just super all giddy, and the radio was blowing up, and I wish you would come down here. And
so they didn't get ambushed anymore. They didn't take any more heavies during that time.
No.
And I'm curious about the previous story of the rockets. So I'm assuming then that they didn't let you guys respond, and did they end up sending a team out to try to negotiate with them?
They did, and the Iraqi police loaded them in the back of an Iraqi vehicle and took them to the next town to blow up.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
Jesus.
It was
Christ. Yeah.
bad.